Friday lunchtime. It's the ITV News.
Heartless and haunting. Graphic images of burnt clothing sent to the family of one of the Air India crash victims. Jamie Meek was celebrating his wedding anniversary in India with his partner, who also died on the flight. Well, speaking exclusively to ITV News, his family say they were shocked to be emailed the distressing images over Christmas.
My initial thought was anger, shock, and then turned to a bit of sadness, to be honest, because obviously the timing of it was appalling.
Also this lunchtime, 7 nurses win their case against an NHS trust after a transgender colleague was allowed to use a women's changing room. Plus, the bereaved British parents taking TikTok to court in the US. They claim the platform's algorithms promoted dangerous content and...
We're not giving people anything, they would earn it.
Right.
If the movie's successful.
This is the ITV Lunchtime News with Lucrezia Millarini.
Good afternoon. The family of a man who died in the Air India plane crash last year has told ITV News that they've been blindsided by what they say is an appalling lack of compassion shown by the airline. Jamie Meek was among 53 Britons killed when the Boeing 787 bound for Gatwick crashed. Just after Christmas, his family were emailed images of his burnt clothing. His family spoke exclusively to Sejal Carrier, and a warning: you may find some of the detail in her report distressing.
53 Britons died when an Air India flight crashed shortly after taking off last June. Among them, Jamie Meek, who'd been there with his husband Fingal, celebrating their wedding anniversary.
We are at the airport.
This was the couple at Ahmedabad airport, moments before boarding. 7 months on, Jamie's family say the airlines caused them fresh trauma. As Air India began returning victims' belongings, Jamie's brother Nick received an email over Christmas containing distressing photographs without warning of Jamie's burnt clothes to be identified. The family have given us permission to show the images.
I opened the email and it was pictures of the clothes that he was wearing on the plane at the time of the crash. My initial thought was anger, shock, and then turned to a bit of sadness. The timing of it was appalling. It just really, it just really brought it home. Actually, what he was wearing, those clothes when he passed away. I just want people to understand.
How are you feeling?
It was that bad. I couldn't even show my mum, to be honest. I told her about it, but I didn't show her the pictures. It was heartless.
When Nikki was telling me, I was going, no, I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it. So I don't know. Who would?
If you had a message for Air India, what would it be?
How dare they think that we'd want to see clothes that were burnt?
Air India told ITV News they got it wrong. They're truly sorry and have now written to the family to apologise. To number, but a brother and a son. Sejal Carrier, ITV News.
And you can watch an extended version of Sejal's report on the ITV Evening News, or you can find it on ITVX or the ITV News YouTube channel. Next, a group of nurses who complained about a trans colleague using single-sex changing rooms suffered harassment which violated their dignity and created a hostile and intimidating environment for them, an employment tribunal has ruled. 8 members of the day surgery unit at Darlington Memorial Hospital brought the claim after Rose Henderson, a trans woman, was allowed to use the women's changing facilities. Well, Geraint Vincent is here with more on this. And Geraint, give us the background to this.
Well, Rose Henderson started using this changing room, Lucrezia, in 2019 after starting work at the hospital as a student nurse. Complaints from other nurses began in 2023. They said that Rose Henderson had stared at colleagues in that room, walked round in boxer shorts, and repeatedly asked one of them why she wasn't getting changed. Now, in its judgment, the tribunal found that Rose Henderson had not personally harassed or victimised the claimants, but upheld their complaint of indirect sexual discrimination in that by permitting a biological male, in their words, trans woman, to use the female changing room, the Trust was in breach of workplace regulations and had infringed the nurses' right to respect for private life under Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights. It also said that the Trust had subjected the nurses to harassment and violated their dignity, as you mentioned, by permitting the trans woman colleague to use the changing room and by not taking their concerns seriously when they raised them. They responded by referring to the need for the claimants to be educated on trans rights to broaden their mindsets. Now, after the judgment, one of the nurses, Bethany Hutchison, said that this is a victory for common sense and for every woman who wants to feel safe at work. She continued, forcing us to undress in front of a man was not only degrading but dangerous. County Durham and Darlington NHS Trust have said only that they're taking time to review this judgment and that they'll comment further when they've had the opportunity to consider it in full.
Thank you. British families will enter a court in the US later to begin a landmark case against the social media platform TikTok over the deaths of their children. The lawsuit alleges that the company's algorithms promoted dangerous content for younger users. From Wilmington in Delaware, Ashna Hurinag reports.
And Archie, who all died, their families say, after taking part in a viral online challenge on TikTok. It is these parents' entire purpose and is why they feel they have nothing to lose in going up against a multi-billion...
That it's necessary that we have to come to America to do it. You know, why do we have to travel that far? But absolutely, we'd go to Timbuktu if we had to. This is our children and other children's lives, and it's important that we do this.
Delaware.
Back here, Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch says Nigel Farage has done her spring cleaning for her after Robert Jenrick joined Reform UK. She also accused her former Shadow Justice Secretary of telling a lot of lies after his plot to defect was exposed. Our political correspondent Carl Dillon is in Westminster this lunchtime. Carl, why is this such a big deal?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. If you don't really follow politics, you might be wondering Robert who, or at the very least why the Shadow Justice Secretary, a former Housing Secretary, is such a big deal. And the answer is because he very nearly became the leader of the Conservative Party and was widely seen here, at least, as being possibly the next leader of the Conservative Party as well. And yet now he says they are done for. They aren't doing well in the polls at all at the moment, the Conservatives, but it is true that they are the most successful election-winning party, not just here, but anywhere. So when the possible future leader of the party of Winston Churchill and Margaret Thatcher says they're toast, that's why it's a big deal. Now, of course, the current leader of that party, Kemi Badenoch, doesn't agree, and earlier today she said that, in fact, Reform had done her a favour.
We are a strong, united team. We're stronger since he left because he simply wasn't a team player. And I think people can see that we're talking about the issues that matter to them. The people who were causing problems in the Conservative Party are leaving. They are doing my spring cleaning for me. Nigel Farage is doing my spring cleaning for me, and I'm happy about that.
Now, she may be right. The Conservatives may have a revival yet before the next general election, or she could be wrong, and this week might signal an acceleration in the decline of the Conservative Party and the takeover of Reform UK on the right of British politics. It's really a little bit early to say, but what we can definitely say is that more substantial and serious politicians are now joining Reform UK from the Conservative Party.
Carl, in Westminster, thank you. Still ahead, the Cold War bunker facing its final battle against coastal erosion and...
It's me and you.
But first, space is no longer the final frontier. It's in Aylesbury. That is a location of the Westcott Space Hub, a new £20 million space innovation centre aimed to boost UK innovation and create hundreds of jobs. Our science correspondent Martin Stew has been given exclusive access to the facility and is there for us this lunchtime. And Martin, is this one giant leap for UK innovation?
Look,
Lucrezia, that's definitely what they are hoping for. This is a really exciting year for space. You know, just tomorrow, the preparations for the launch of a manned mission around the back of the moon will begin, and the UK is trying to cash in and get a part of that, really, which is why this centre here is looking at bringing together expertise and kits, like the kit we've got behind me. I'm going to introduce to you Emily as well, who is the director of the site here at Westcott. Noah, press play on this vibrating table. Emily, what is this bit of kit going to do?
Anything that goes to space has to survive launch, and that is incredibly bumpy, very similar to a head-on car crash or a roller coaster. This vibration table will take anything up to about 100 kilos, which is most stuff that goes to space, vibrated at up to 2,500 vibrations a second to ensure that anything that goes to space can survive launch, because you can't fix it once it gets there.
It's getting going now. It's like a big shaking tray. So things have got to be robust. And you've got other stuff here, like enormous vacuum chambers to recreate the conditions you get in space and the temperatures too.
Absolutely. The vacuum chamber next door is the largest electric propulsion chamber in the UK. It goes down to 10 to the -9 for anyone who knows about vacuum in space. We've also got fully kitted out workshops to allow students to come and learn here, and businesses to do that complete end-to-end testing of building things, taking things apart, testing them in space conditions.
And look, the UK's always had some really clever people and done disparate bits really well, but we've never been able to do kind of the whole space project. What's the ambition?
I think the ambition is to do that complete end-to-end. We've got the engineers and the academics who design things for spacecraft and things. We've now got the testing facilities to allow those to be tested as they're being built regularly, and later this year we'll have the ability to launch from the UK as well, really giving that end-to-end piece and then focusing on the UK's real expertise of using the data down from space for things we do in day-to-day life.
And that launch pad is up in Scotland, hopefully later this year. I mean, it should have been last year. There's been problems in the past. I mean, look at overall funding. The UK's way behind places like the US and China. Realistically, can we compete, or is this just paying lip service to something?
It's always nice to have more funding, and this has been funded by the UK Space Agency with support from Buckinghamshire Council. But actually, places like Westcott bring together real brains who come together in old airfields using whatever kit we can get our hands on to work together collaboratively to build the best of the best. And I think we can do that in the UK.
Brilliant. Emily, thank you very much indeed. As she mentioned, this was actually a 1960s place where they used to test rockets, more for the Cold War. Different sorts of rockets now, but they're hoping to achieve something really special.
All right, Ross in Aylesbury, thank you. A husband who killed his wife and manipulated his own child in a plot to get away with murder has been jailed for life. Robert Rhodes murdered his wife in the kitchen of their family home in 2016 but was acquitted at a trial a year later. He initially claimed falsely that he'd inflicted the fatal wound on his wife in an act of self-defence. In 2021, his traumatised child told a therapist and then the police what really happened. Two people, both aged 90, have died in a house fire in North London. Crews were called out to the ground floor property in Barnet just before 2 a.m, where the man and woman were found dead at the scene. An investigation into the cause of the fire is underway. A Cold War era nuclear bunker is clinging onto the edge of a cliff in East Yorkshire, where it's said to be hours away from falling into the sea. It's believed to have been built in the 1950s as a lookout post in the event of nuclear war. The only battle it faces now is against coastal erosion. Our North of England reporter Jonathan Brown is there and sent this.
Well, as you can see, this makes for quite a dramatic sight, doesn't it? An underground bunker exposed to the elements that's slowly being claimed by the sea. If you're wondering why this is there, it's actually a bit of a time capsule to a period in which there were real fears a nuclear war was impending. This is one of about 800 monitoring posts that were installed all around the UK in the 1950s. They were put in place so that volunteers from the Royal Observer Corps could report where a bomb may have landed and where radioactive fallout was spreading. Thankfully, they were never used and they were decommissioned in the 1990s. But this one was actually built quite far inland. The problem here, though, is that this is one of the fastest eroding coastlines in Europe. The reason for that, experts say, is because of climate change and also because of the fact that these cliffs are soft boulder clay, which, as you can see, are crumbling bit by the second. Now, it's believed to be falling into the sea at a rate of about 2 metres per year. Now, that means that this bunker is unlikely to stay there for very much longer, which is why amateur historians and people even on the cliffs are getting so close to film its demise. Now, the local council says it sits on private land and is not covered by coastal defences. They're also urging people to avoid the area and always maintain a safe distance from eroding cliffs.
Jonathan Brown reporting there. And finally this lunchtime to Hollywood's golden couple. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's box office bromance has survived longer than most celebrity marriages. And now they are back on screen together in The Rip, which lands on Netflix today. And not for the first time, they're breaking the mould. They've struck a first-of-its-kind deal, which will see all 1,200 crew get a one-off bonus if the movie hits the spot with viewers. Charanpreet Kara reports.
It's me and you, okay?
It's a bro thriller starring one of cinema's most iconic bromances, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
You gotta move this money, man.
They've joined forces on the big screen 14 times before, but this time they're on the small screen, starring in a new Netflix tale of temptation and trust. Their on-screen chemistry, the result of a genuine off-screen friendship.
We see each other, you know. We stay friends even if we're not working together. It's just better and it's more fun and more rewarding when you're doing movies with people that you like and who you get along with.
They've been working together for 37 years, growing up together in Boston before sharing a school and eventually a screen. Their first film appearance together would be easy to miss as anonymous teenage extras in Field of Dreams. But they wouldn't stay invisible for long, stepping out of the background in School Ties.
Look, you're my best friend, so don't take this the wrong way.
It was Good Will Hunting that catapulted both stars' careers, winning them an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
We're just really two young guys who were fortunate enough to be involved with a lot of great people.
Cops who stumble across millions of dollars of cartel cash and are forced to choose whether to break their code of ethics.
You just take whatever money you want and walk away.
Working on the project if the film reaches its Netflix targets.
There's a lot of people that can make a good middle-class living, send their kids to school, and also who are really good artists and artisans, and we want to support that.
A new pay deal for a new age of streaming, backed by a duo whose partnership spans decades. Charanpreet Kara, ITV News.
Looks exciting. I'm sure it will be a hit. That's it for now. Charlene is back with the evening news at 6:30. The news where you are is next, but from everyone on the Lunchtime team, bye-bye. Have a great afternoon.